For the last 5 years, inflation has been dominating the headlines. But what about when Americans stop worrying about inflation and start worrying about their actual paychecks?
We're hitting a pain point that just so many people are going through, right? Like gas, like or food. Like let's start there, right? I don't know about you guys, but luckily we have the passive income and all that kind of stuff, and I'm just seeing it's expensive, man. I start to look at just like going and buying lunch with somebody, like this lunch or dinner, and it's just rippling through, I have more and more and more friends saying, how can anybody really seriously afford to just to go to dinner that much anymore, right? And not in a bad way. That's forcing people back in their homes and actually eating better, which is not a bad thing. But there's so much attacking the person that focuses on working harder and wages.
Yeah, and right now what's interesting is inflation has dominated these conversations the last 5 or 6 years, but now more Americans when polled are saying they're actually more worried about unemployment than they are inflation. And it's interesting because employment is staying high while they're worried about this.
Yeah, I know. I had multiple conversations with people and say, how are we reporting these numbers? And by the way, I'm not saying they're crooked or corrupt or anything. I'm just saying that I don't know anybody personally, and I don't know about you guys, that is actually loading up on employees right now. like
Right.
like the economy is not it's not really delivering that kind of a message. And now certainly there are absolutely 100% companies that are growing. I get that. And you probably guys all know some of those. But from my viewpoint, what I'm starting to see is, is the attack of the white collar, the attack of the white collar job. Call that middle management. Call the stuff that AI and some of these processes that even in our own firm we're starting to now like realize, right? We're bringing in consultants and things like that because we don't fully know what we don't know. And so, we are looking at our accounting processes and can they be automated? We're looking at our HR, we're looking at our marketing, we're looking at certainly our customer service. These are all jobs that people used to have. That's just my little company, but all my friends are doing this too. And so, if you guys know the resistance with AI is actually the people that are being asked to implement AI. Like, right? It's just so Danille, you're really onto something here. It's interesting to me that even with inflation fears, that now they have a second issue that's actually more important, which is, are they going to have this kind of wage growth? Are they going to have a job even? Because we're starting to see more and more careers disrupted.
Yeah, and you can look at the unemployment rate, which was 4.3% in May. But if you look at additional data, you can see in the peak of hiring in 2022, there was 12 million job openings, where today there's only 7.4. So that's a 40% drop, to your point, in companies that are hiring. And that doesn't even go into who is hiring for what. And it's taking people a lot longer to find a job. So I think before people weren't that worried, and in fact were job hopping because, their friends would leave a position, get a job within a couple weeks. It wasn't really very stressful to get let go or to switch jobs. Where now people are knowing people that are unemployed. It's taking, an average of 26 weeks to find a job. And, people are seeing people that are unemployed and struggling. So they are more frightened hearing about AI, knowing that the economy is weaker, that they could be cut. And so that is now a core worry for Americans. But then the other thing you have to look at is savings rates. So savings rates used to be far higher than they are today. And that impacts people too, because they know that if they do lose their job, they don't have a savings, a lot of people to fall back on.
Right. So let's just kind of summarize what Danille just said. That if, let's say, God forbid, you guys are listening, you come to work and they've cut a department or they've done something or they who knows what, right? And you're now in a position where because we all think then we're going to be able to, oh, no problem. No problem. We're going to be able to get a job. No problem. The average is 26 weeks. So that's almost 6 months, guys. Like think about that. That's between 5 and 6 months. The real question then becomes, if on the average, and I know you all believe that you're better than the average, what if you're not? That means there's plenty of people, half the people are above that and half the people are below that. But what if, do you have 5, 6 months of savings? That's a real question. And that's really what you need to be solved for, right? And so with Danille's point, people are using their savings, of course, to mitigate the loss of job, right? So while they're looking, they're actually spending their money from their savings account, so they're not immediately moving out of where they live and trying to downsize and all that kind of stuff. They have hope, like all of us, that, we're going to be able to solve this in the next month or two, right? And then they realize, like we see, that when we put a job applicant out there now, there's 500 to 1,000 applicants that come in on the internet, right? It's insane. That's way different than it was just a few years ago.
Yeah, and this really affects the whole economy broadly, because if they don't feel financially secure, like even worse than inflation, because inflation, people, they feel it, but they're okay spending money because they feel secure in their job.
They also have choices, right? Like they can change what they're buying.
Yeah.
Right.
But if they feel insecure about their job, then they don't really want to spend money because they're worried. So they're going to cut back on vacations, and they're going to cut back on certain things they like to do with their family. They're going to cut back on buying a house. They're going to cut back on moving. They're going to cut back on a bunch of things because they're concerned.
Well, that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I think they're already doing that, largely, right? Like people have already we know people that are already cutting back. Like you just go in, instead of buying, one thing that's $1 or $2 more, you buy something else, right? So there's all these psychological things that people are making right now to cut back.
But are we seeing dips yet in travel this summer or anything? Like
That's
really.
What's nuts. Like,
Yeah.
no. But, as have you guys have followed the price of oil? Jet fuel is raising the cost of airline tickets, but the last time we were on I can't remember where we were going. I was flying to somewhere, and the place was full.
Yeah, it's really interesting because domestic travel is actually higher than last year by almost a percentage point. And, if people are so worried and inflation is like such a burden, that's just an interesting thing, considering traveling is one of the ultimate luxuries.
How is everything so bright? Like, are people just in some kind of a habit?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, now, granted, most people don't just jump on a plane with any kind of nose. So some of these things could have, been planned a year out or whatever it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it is very interesting to me when you've got, this uncertainty and this unemployment, and certainly inflation, at 25% over the last 5 years. That's what it's been measured. That's the CPI. So you have 25% inflation over the last 25 years. You got savings rates down, you got credit cards up, and you got travel up. Like, what gives?
Well, the credit cards and the travel both being up.
Seriously, like is this like a bubble that's forming before it pops, right? Because
like a credit bubble or something.
I don't think people are that aware of what's really happening. Like, and there are certainly many cases, many people are not in a position. And I think that, I'm not a sky is falling guy, as you guys know, at all. But we do have to be, I think you got to start to look at the tea leaves here and start to look at, when's this bubble going to burst? And where is inflation headed? And, where are asset prices headed? And I think the big issue is, if a shoe drops with your job. I just went to a conference 2 weeks ago, actually now, in Florida. And guess what? The attendance was half, right? So conferences are down. It's really, really, really interesting. And I know We're going to be addressing most of this at Limitless this year.
So, why should housing investors care is the big question. And I think that, you have to look at the housing market to start because, as we were saying, if people are unsure about their wages, it's going to slow down the housing market even more than it already is because people are only going to buy a house, people are only going to sell a house and move if they feel financially stable.
Well, it's a numbers game, right? So less people that have less income or less jobs will buy less and refinance less, right? A lender's not going to lend somebody if you're in the middle of a job. If it takes 26 weeks and you, even if you have good savings, right? They're going to want that. It's a weird thing. Remember, they want that W-2. They want that paycheck.
And they want you working there for so many months. And
Right. So there's a lag here too, because let's say you don't have a job and then you get a job and then you go try to buy something. Well, the lender's going to say, what is it, a year at least?
Yeah, it's usually 6 months to a year.
So there's a lag there too, right? And that's a really important thing. So it's really going to be interesting to see how this rolls out. I think the next few years are going to be extremely interesting to mostly middle management, right? You think about the bureaucracy in some of these companies, it's significant and ridiculous, right? As you start to implement AI and to do basic processes like accounting, AI can literally do accounting financials, literally, right? And then the accountant now can look at what AI produces instead of the accountant producing it. So, these are things that are coming into the industries.
Yeah, and then also, if people aren't buying houses, that means that they're going to be renting. So you're going to have more renters be piling up if people aren't buying because they're doing one of the two. So I think that as investors, this is important for us because we have to understand the mindset of the average American and what it could mean for the housing market and the rental market.
Right. You can't ignore that, right? So on one hand, while we might have inflation to help us on the pricing, the other hand, we have the risk of the renter not being able to come up with the cash, right? And the unemployment disruption. You have to look at that because don't forget, the renter is your customer. They're gold, right? And if they're disrupted, their industry's disrupted, and your empire is based on them, then that's something you need to take a close eye on.